I know I just posted a Getting in the Fall Spirit bookstore vlog, but I just need to hang on to summer for just a little bit longer. Welcome back. If you're new, my name is Kristen and you've reached my little corner of the internet. So yeah, I recently posted a fall book shopping vlog, getting into the fall spirit, picking up some fall books, showing you guys a little fall haul from Bath and Body Works. But then I looked at my TBR cart and I was like, wow, I have a lot of summer themed books still on here that I meant to read this past summer and I didn't. And because fall doesn't start officially for another 18 or so days, I thought maybe we can just hang on to summer for just a little bit longer. And I don't know about you, but in LA, we have been having the longest heat wave, I feel like, but I don't know. I feel like it's now just getting normal for this time of year just to get randomly hot at the end of August and for all of September just to be stupid warm. So it is currently, oh, it's 77 outside. Okay, that's a little bit cooler than what it has been the last couple of days, but it's definitely, we're feeling still that hot sun summer vibe. And I thought maybe let's just grasp onto that weather while we still can and read a summer themed book by the pool, by the beach, what have you, outside, and just get in the summer vibes very late into summer, but just, hanging on to summer. So I did set a summer TBR at the beginning of summer, and I don't know how many books I read off of it actually. So I made a list of 13 books that I wanted to read at the beginning of the summer, and I read 6 of them: Wild Side, The Paradise Problem, Great Big Beautiful Life, In Good Company, 7 Days in June, and Problematic Summer Romance. And I want to keep those vibes going. I have a little stack that I'm going to show you of books that I want to get to in this reading vlog. The first book I already started, and it's actually on my September TBR, which is now live if you want to go see that. It is Summer in the City by Alex Astor. This book I feel like popped off this summer, and I've heard pretty good things about it. It's really short, and I didn't mean to get like the sprayed edges version, but I think this is like the only version that is out right now, which you don't want to get me started on sprayed edges. That rant is going to be way too long. So I actually already started this. I've only read one chapter. I was reading it at the nail salon earlier today. So I read the first chapter of this, and it basically follows Elle, and I don't know the guy's name, Parker. And Elle is a 27-year-old screenwriter who has the chance of a lifetime to write a big budget movie set in New York City. The only problem, she had writer's block for months and her screenplay is due at the end of summer. Elle ends up back in the city she swore she would never return to, in an apartment she could never afford, floor-to-ceiling windows, skyline views, and a new coffee shop to haunt included. It's the perfect place to write her screenplay until she realizes her new neighbor is tech billionaire bachelor Parker Warren, her stairwell hookup from 2 years ago. So that is the chapter that I just read, was their initial meeting and hookup from like a club 2 years prior. So chapter 2 is now 2 years later, and that is as far as I've gotten so far. And obviously I really can't get a gauge of anything else besides that, the first chapter was basically what is in the summary. So yeah, I don't know what to think of it so far. I mean, again, only one chapter in, so we're going to continue reading this today, but let's quickly go over some of the other books I have on my radar for this vlog. So I'm not saying I'll get to all of them, but these are just some of the summer books that were still on my TBR cart. The first one is also on my September TBR. It is One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. I can't believe I haven't read this yet, which is crazy. I feel like this was high on my priority list for my summer TBR, so I feel like this is definitely one that I have to get to in this reading vlog, and I'll probably read it next after Summer in the City. This next book was on my August TBR, and I unfortunately did not get to it. It is The Summer We Ran by Audrey Ingram. I haven't heard too many people talk about this. I think it's about two people. They met as like teenagers for one summer, and now they're back 20 years later, and they're facing off for like, as they're running for governor of Virginia, and they're like against each other, I guess. Don't know if I'll get to this one in this reading vlog. We'll see. It's not as high up on my priority list. I feel like I have some others in the stack that are shining brighter on my radar, if you will. This next book is a recent purchase. I did not mean to pick it up, but Barnes had a select shelf of 50% off books. So it was Catherine Center's The Love Haters, which I believe is her new book for the summer. So I haven't read anything by her, so I don't know if I would want to start with this one. I feel like The Bodyguard or the rom-commers would be a safer, more popular one to start with when getting into her writing, because I just don't know what I'm getting into with this, and I don't want to have a bad first impression. Not that I haven't honestly haven't heard too much about this book. I don't know whether people are enjoying it or not, but I feel like I've heard so many good things about The Bodyguard and the rom-commers that I feel like it's a safer bet to start with either of those books. So, again, I don't really know if I'll get to this one in my reading vlog, but it is definitely a summer book that I had on my cart, clearly, because they're in a pool on some pool floaties, which I want to do. Okay, this is definitely a more popular one, 32 Days in May. I want to read this. I just feel like this is just the OCD in me. Like, I feel like I should wait till May of next year to read this, which you're like, that's ridiculous. But, you know, it's like I didn't read 7 Days in June. I read it in July. I just feel like I don't know. I want to read this, but if I don't get to it, that's okay. I'll just wait till May of next year. And I honestly don't even know what it's about. I am reading the summary right now and none of it's retaining in my brain. So I'm just gonna set this back here, and if I get to it, I get to it. If I don't, then I don't. Then the last book was also on my August TBR and I didn't get to it, which is crazy because I thought I was gonna. It's People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This is either people's favorite or least favorite Emily Henry book, and I'm very curious to see where my stance is on this book. It is about Alex and Poppy, which they do pop up in other Emily Henry books, so I can't believe I haven't read their story yet. So I'm very curious about it. I feel like I've read a lot of Emily Henry this year. So what's one more? I won't mind, but just to keep the summer and small town vibes going, I know I can count on Emily Henry to deliver in that area. Yeah, we've got quite the colorful summer romance stack here. I'm going to continue reading Summer in the City. There's no just Summer in the City. It is 4 o'clock and I'm still drinking my coffee that I made 2.5 hours ago. It's a maple sea salt latte, in case you're wondering. You brew the espresso on top of maple and some sea salt. So I pour some like maple syrup and then sprinkle some sea salt in there, and then the espresso shot goes right on top of that, and I mix it together and pour it over milk. Just in case you're curious, it was delicious. But I'm going to continue reading Summer in the City. We'll see how far I can get, and we'll check back in a little bit later. So I'm literally only on page 37 of Summer in the City, but I thought I would give some just like early thoughts, some early comments. So it's definitely hitting the rom-com vibe for sure, like really hard, like almost I feel like kind of Lynn Painter-esque. There's cheesy banter, there's witty lines, like it's super cliche, like and I'm just like, I'm trying not to judge it too hard. Like the writing this, the plot that, blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like I'm just like kind of taking it for what it is, because like whenever I caught myself doing that, like judging it like that, I was like, but if I were watching this as a movie, I feel like I would really enjoy it and like really eat it up. So that's kind of my standing right now on it. So it's not bad by any means. It's just cheesy, corny, cutesy, rom-com-y. Like, it's everything that I kind of look for when I'm reading a rom-com. Like, nothing revolutionary, nothing too deep or eccentric or like with themes of this and that. Like, it's just a rom-com. It's just about two characters that we're finding out their love story. So it's like, I'm just taking it for what it is right now. But those are some early thoughts, and I feel like those same thoughts are going to carry throughout the rest of the book. So still a lot more to go, only on page 37, like not that far deep. And the book is really not that deep, but like it's a book, it's a rom-com, like it's fluffy, it's cutesy. It's a summer little cutesy New York City romance, and I love reading that type of book. So that's where I'm at now, but we'll check back in a little bit later. Hello, it is Tuesday. Wow, I haven't talked to you since Thursday. Yes, I have blue on my eyes right now. I filmed for my TikTok series today, so I ended up with an eyeshadow palette that had blue on it. But we are not here to talk about makeup. But if you want to see me talk about makeup, you can follow me on TikTok, and I talk about makeup on there all the time. And also, my voice is low because I have a sore throat and my throat's been hurting the last 2 days. So this is just going really well. But a couple of updates for this reading vlog. First off, I finished Summer in the City by Alex Astor. I finished it on Sunday. I started this vlog on Thursday, finished it on Sunday, and I'm giving it 3 stars. I'm honestly not very shocked by this rating considering just how like short this book is. It doesn't even reach page 300. So I was like, I going into it, I knew what to expect. I knew not to expect a lot, which sounds really harsh, but this book did exactly what I expected it to do. It did exactly what I needed it to do. It was a cutesy, fluffy, summer, New York City based billionaire romance, and it was under 300 pages and it worked. It was good. It followed the exact rom-com formula with a 3rd act breakup, and there was no epilogue thing. I was like, when I turned the page and I was like, if there is an epilogue after this page, I might lose it. There wasn't, thank goodness. But while reading it, I caught myself several times like trying to critique it and like nitpick at it, and then I was like, hold up, that book, or this book, not that, this book is not meant for that kind of criticism. It is too short, and it basically, like, it's not the point of this book to critique it so harshly, and I'm supposed to be having a good time while reading this, and I did. I enjoyed myself. I caught myself giggling, sometimes smacking my forehead at some of the lines, but I kept catching myself like, no, you can't nitpick at this, because like, if this were a movie and I was watching this on a TV screen, I would eat it up. I would sit there like eating my popcorn, eating my chocolate chip cookie, and like living my best life, drinking some wine and watching a rom-com. So like, this is exactly what like the book is. It was short, it was sweet, it was concise, 3 stars. I knew I wasn't gonna give it anywhere near a 4-star, just because like these type of books are like palate cleansers to me and are just like easy to read, but I'm not gonna think about these characters ever again. I'm sorry, but like that's just the reality of the situation. So yeah, 3 stars on that, and then a few other reading updates. I know I said I wasn't gonna start a Catherine Center book, but I did. I started reading her new book right after finishing Summer in the City, The Love Haters. I didn't think I was gonna end up picking this one up just because this is my first Catherine Center novel, and I wanted to read The Bodyguard or the rom-commers before reading this. And part of me wishes I kind of stuck with that, because obviously going into this, I don't know her writing. I don't know anything about her tone of voice while she's writing. So it's like, it is very distinct. It's a very like witty and quirky kind of writing, at least with our main character, Katie. That's her name. Wow. Katie loves like repeating things and talking to herself in her inner monologue like a lot, and asking, like doing paragraphs of just like questions like, was it hot that day? Did I get coffee spilled all over my shirt? Did gum get stuck on the bottom of my shoe while walking to the office? Did blah 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 blah. And it's like all these questions, and then line break, yes. Which that kind of writing is kind of fun, and it's different. I don't see it a lot in books, but it can get not annoying, just like repetitive really quickly, because you're like, okay, like I know what's coming. She's gonna ask herself a series of questions, and it's gonna be yes or no. So that's one thing about this book. It's good so far, but this is just supposed to be a cutesy little summer romance. We have of course, there are some topics in here I don't know if there's like a trigger warning or not in this book. There are some topics in here where she talks about like eating disorder, body dysmorphia, like kind of things like that. So our main girl does struggle with some topics like that, so it's nice to see kind of that like mental health aspect implemented into this book. And then we have our super hot, unobtainable, like measure, like set the bar really high, good looking type guy. Yeah, that's where I'm at with this. I don't know what I'm gonna rate it. I'm not even halfway through. I'm like 100 pages in, so I plan on making a bigger dent today. And then this morning on my walk, I started The Summer We Ran by Audrey Ingram. And this one I'm enjoying, I think, the most out of the three, just because it is a very different plot. It is dual timeline, so it's them, our main couple, as teenagers in 1996, and then in present day, their present day is 2021, so a couple of years ago. But I think that's what's making it so interesting right now. I'm listening to this on audio at the moment, so I am enjoying that as well. But I think I'm liking this one the most out of the three, which is kind of unexpected. I thought I would like Catherine Center a little bit more. I do still plan on reading like some of her other books, even if I don't end up enjoying The Love Haters as much. I had never heard or read anything by Audrey Ingram, so I'm enjoying it so far. I keep saying that. I don't know what else to say. It's really cute to read about a summer teenage love, especially in 1996. What a cool era to set that in. And then they go 20 years without talking and they're running against each other for governor of Virginia. So very interesting plot. That's what I mean by that. But yeah, so that's why I think I'm enjoying it a little bit more. I keep saying that. Oh my gosh, can I say something else? Anyway, part of me really wants to continue listening to this, but I think I want to make a dent in the rom-commers just so I can get to another physical book, because I am listening to this and I'm physically reading The Love Haters. So I think that's where I'm at right now. Those are all the updates. I want to do something a little bit like summery-esque. It's 77 degrees outside, and it's 3:30, which is too late for an iced coffee, and it's also not going to be very good for my throat. So maybe I sit outside and read, but right now I am very comfortable where I'm at on my bed. So I think I'm just gonna read right here. All right, it is the next day. I have some positive reading updates for you guys. I finally finished The Love Haters. I guess not finally. It only took me 3 days to read it. I read like 1 or 2 chapters on Sunday, and then 100 pages on Monday, and then finished the rest of it yesterday. And I was under halfway yesterday when I started it. So read a good chunk of it yesterday, and I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5. Yesterday, especially yesterday, as I was reading the book and getting like further and further into the story, I was like, I'm not gonna rate this over 4 stars. Like, I just knew it. And it's sad to say, because it is my first Catherine Center book, and I had mixed feelings going into this, just because I hadn't heard too many people talk about it. I also haven't been watching a ton of like summer reading vlogs, which is so weird of me anyway. I should have been watching those, but from the reviews I did see of this book, they weren't, it wasn't that they weren't positive. It's just people were, I think, expecting more, because everyone loves Catherine Center and her writing, especially again with The Bodyguard and the rom-commers and what is it called? Hello Stranger. That's the one. Some people just weren't satisfied with this book, I think, and I guess, again, expecting a little bit more. So yeah, 3.5. I enjoyed the story. The summer vibes were actually kind of there. I mean, it took place in Key West for majority of the story. Also, you guys are propped up on a pillow right now, so I pray this footage is good and you can hear me. But I feel like the only summer thing about this book was the store that our main girl, Katie, she shopped in. It was basically one of those like tropical, loud, vibrant, like beach resort wear, I feel like. And I was like, they kept talking about the store and her clothes, because I guess Katie back home dresses very like bland and neutral. So I feel like
the only thing summer like aspect was like how vibrant the store was. I liked our love interest. I definitely love other love interests a little bit more. I don't know what is up with these girls and not writing dual POV. I want to know more about what's going on inside the guy's head, please. But this was fun, lighthearted, easy to read. I enjoyed myself reading this book. I don't know. I feel like I honestly feel like I got more summer vibes out of Summer in the City than The Love Haters, which is interesting to say just because I feel like the cover just gives off summer. But yeah, 3.5. I did give it obviously a higher rating than Summer in the City. I think I just liked our characters were a little bit more three-dimensional, a little bit more developed, and I think I liked the depth we see from the characters honestly for being such a short book as well. I liked being able to see the depth of our backstories of our characters, especially with, even though we didn't get Hutch's point of view in this book, who is the love interest, we still are able to learn a lot about him, and typical saving the like trauma for the last like 100 pages of the book, but you know, whatever, that's fine with me. Yeah, 3.5 again, but I'm not knocking off Catherine Center forever. I had a good time reading this, and I definitely want to read some of her other books. And I think the last book for this reading vlog that I'm actually going to start is One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. I am so excited to get to this. I can't believe it's taken me quite literally all summer to get to this book, but we are going to start this today. I haven't started it at all. I've been feeling a little bit under the weather, but I was filming TikToks all morning as well, so I haven't gotten a chance to sit down and actually read. So we're gonna do that right now. I wish I could make an iced coffee right now and like chill, but like I just don't think that's gonna be good for my throat. So I made a tea, the least summer thing quite literally ever, but I had to. I made a tea and we're gonna read this, maybe sit outside on my balcony and get going on this book. I am so excited. No idea what it's about. I know this character, our main love interest, Charlie. We've seen him before in another book. I don't remember where, but I've been hearing good things, so I'm very excited. So we're gonna get to reading One Golden Summer. Hi, okay, a few reading updates. I feel like I always start these clips with such enthusiasm and like, hi. And then I always say like a few reading updates, like why else would I be popping up right now? It's obviously to give you a few reading updates. Okay, let's get into it. I completely forgot in the last clip, when I was chatting with you last, that I was still continuing the summer reran. I can't believe that one just, right out the door. I talked about The Love Haters and then I talked about One Golden Summer, but I completely forgot to mention that I'm still listening to the audiobook of The Summer We Ran. And if you didn't watch my August TBR video where my bookish bingo we play to pick my August reads, this was on my August TBR. Obviously I didn't get to it in August. It's September. I'm reading it right now. The prompt for this book, why I ended up picking it, it's because it is the lowest rated. The prompt was pick your lowest rated book on your physical TBR, and it's this one. I'm very shocked because I'm actually really enjoying it. I think it's a 3.36 on Goodreads, And I could definitely see myself giving it at least a 3.5. So definitely higher than the average rating on Goodreads. And I'm really, really enjoying it. I don't know if it's just because of the audiobook, but I really like the premise. It's very different than other summer themed romances that I've read. And I'm actually really enjoying the writing. I'm enjoying the storytelling. I mean, it's just over 300 pages long. It's short, concise, gets to the point. There's really no room for fluff here. I like both of our characters, Tess and Grant. They are running against each other for the governor of Virginia, and essentially they fell in love as teenagers one summer, and now 25 years later they are meeting again, talking for the first time, running against each other for the governor position of Virginia. And both of them are flawed in their own right, I believe. And I think that's what makes this book so interesting, is that neither of these characters are perfect and you can get annoyed at either one of them at any given time. And I actually really enjoy that, just because it keeps the plot interesting and keeps it moving and it's not bland in any way. So, and also apologies for my voice. I still have a sore throat. Yay. But yeah, I think this book is going really well. I am officially over halfway. There's 3 parts to this book and I have one more chapter left in part 2 before diving into part 3. So hopefully I can finish this tomorrow on my morning walk. That's when I've been listening to this, is on my morning walks for about an hour. And then I just listened to a good chunk right now, coloring. But I did stop coloring. I did not finish the page I was working on because I'm about to head out. But yeah, I am enjoying this and I definitely see myself rating it higher than the average rating on Goodreads. And now for a small update on One Golden Summer. I am really liking this. I really like Charlie. He is so funny. His banter is hilarious. I love that kind of like comedy, kind of like dry humor, like sarcasm, like, okay, whatever you say, or like, oh yeah, I get that a lot. You know, like that kind of humor. I don't know if I did that well. And I actually see myself in Alice, our main character, a lot. She is a planner. She likes thinking everything out before doing something. She has a bucket list, but and I'm also very timid, and reading her, it's kind of funny where I'm like, I get a little bit annoyed at her for being so timid, and I'm like, that's me. I'm the exact same way. But I'm only on chapter 19, page 130, so I'm not even that far in yet. So still a lot of book to go, but I'm enjoying it so far. It's really good, and it's super highly rated on Goodreads. It's a 4.3 or something. So yeah, those are all the updates I have for you right now. We'll see how far I can get in either of these 2 books, but that's all I got.
Right, it is officially Friday, and I'm aware I've been wearing the same sweatshirt for the last 3 clips. I'm sorry, it's new, it's cozy, and when I get a new item of clothing, I will wear it until I don't feel like it anymore. I finally made an iced coffee in this Oktoberfest mug I got in Utah when I went a couple weeks ago for Oktoberfest, and I'm using it for not beer, but for coffee. So I'm now sitting on my balcony, and I want to get a good dent or finish One Golden Summer, because it is now Friday, and this vlog was technically supposed to go up today, but that's just not gonna happen. So we'll see how far I get into it. I don't know if I'm gonna film any b-roll of me doing it, because 1, I'm a little bit lazy, and 2, I feel like you've seen enough b-roll in this vlog and you're just like, Kristen, finish these books already, please, and give us your thoughts. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm not gonna wear any headphones. I'm gonna see how long I could go without listening to any music and just listening to the sounds of nature. So okay, I'm gonna read One Golden Summer now. All right, I'm on my bed. I have my official mic, which means it is now the end of this reading vlog. I officially finished One Golden Summer and the summer we ran today, Monday. I started this vlog on Thursday, like the 4th? I don't know what day that was. Yeah, I started this vlog on the 4th and it is the 15th. I read 4 books in this vlog. 4 books over 10 days is not horrible. I'm not mad at that number. So let's do a quick wrap up of everything that I read in this vlog. Summer in the City, I give it a 3-star. Let me grab the books actually before I start yapping about them. I'm too lazy to get up. I'm staring at them on my nightstand, but it's quite the configuration I have going on here. Let me go get them. So usually I aim for about 3 books for a reading vlog, and I went, the extra mile with 4 books for you guys for this vlog. So I hope you appreciate it. But no, I'm kidding. Like, you don't have to do anything. So we started off this vlog with Summer in the City by Alex Astor. I gave this 3 stars. And basically my consensus on it was it was a fluffy summer billionaire romance. It's less than 200 pages and never sees the number 300. And it did exactly what I needed it to do. I literally just pictured, like, if I were watching this on Netflix, I would eat it up. I would love this as a rom-com film. So I was just not trying to critique it too harshly. It's like trying to critique, like, the Princess Diaries to Oppenheimer. It's like, I'm not gonna I could put those in the same, I would pick the Princess Diaries. So yeah, 3 stars for this. I got what I wanted out of this book, and it did the job for a city summer, which I typically, you don't see a lot of those. You typically see a lot of, beach reads, books that take place on the coast. So seeing one in the city was actually kind of refreshing as well. So next I read The Love Haters, and it's kind of funny. This is my first Catherine Center book. I gave this a 3.5. Even though I rated Summer in the City lower, I remember more about this book than I do The Love Haters. And I'm trying to think of why that. I don't want to say it was trying to be like an Emily Henry book where Emily kind of balances the romance with the character development to make it like kind of like a well-rounded romance fiction kind of novel, if you know what I mean. And I feel like the identity of this book got a little bit lost, and I also feel like that's why not a ton of people loved this one from Catherine Center and still prefer her other books, which I still haven't read and I still really want to. So I'm definitely going to give her another chance, just because I did enjoy the writing. I did enjoy the plot. The summer vibes were not there totally for me, at least. I didn't get a ton of summer out of this book, but I did like our 2 characters. I think they were Katie and Hutch are their names. And I was rooting for them together. And I actually really like Hutch as the love interest in this book. Okay, so I haven't talked about the summer we ran a lot in this vlog, but now that I finished it, I have some thoughts. I am going to stick with that 3.5 rating for this book. And I feel like when I first mentioned that I was reading this book in this vlog, I was really amped for it. I was actually really excited. I was enjoying it more than some of the other books that I was reading. I was enjoying it more than the other 2 books, just because the plot was really different. It's a dual timeline, and again, for the 50th time, the couple in here, they met as teenagers in 1996, fell in love, and didn't talk for 25 years, and now they are running against each other for the governor of Virginia. So it's a very different and interesting plot, and I was like, how does summer tie into all of this? Essentially, the summer aspect of this book is that they met as teenagers in the summer of 96. So that's all there is to it, because the campaign stuff in the present timeline, it takes place in the summer-ish, but it's mostly focusing on the current campaign and trying to, it's kind of opening up old wounds because they are running against each other. So with that, the plot was interesting, and the dual timelines also helped keep the pace of the book really steady. And here is where it fell flat for me. The last 25% of the book, while there were some good twists and turns that I was not expecting, when I finished the book, I just found myself why it just seemed like as adults, they just didn't seem like a good match for each other anymore, and they were just kind of forcing their chemistry after 25 years, and it just wasn't believable for me, and I found myself not rooting for them at all. And I love second chance romance. It is, I think, my favorite trope in a romance book. To see this, and I had such high hopes because when I read the back, I was like, oh yeah, second chance, I'm gonna live for this. It just wasn't executed well, in my opinion. The characters were flawed, and in the last 25% of the book, if you hate miscommunication, you're probably not gonna love this. I usually don't mind miscommunication, But for me, I think the way it was done in this book kind of drew a harsh line in the sand. It was like a new level of miscommunication, or maybe like lack thereof of communication, which it like almost felt a little borderline gaslighty to me, and I don't love that. So I definitely, that's one big reason why I knocked it so much. And I also listened to this book in its entirety, which I definitely think helped a lot. I think if I read this, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. And then the best book that I read in this vlog was One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. I'm giving this 4 stars, solid 4, and I feel like it's a perfect rating for this book. I'll start with my one gripe, and then I'll talk about everything that I loved. My one gripe with this book was the conflict. There's always a conflict in a rom-com of why they can't be together. I didn't love this one. It was like, it kind of felt a little bit lazy to me, and I was like, okay, I guess, sure, fine. That's why they can't be together, I guess, whatever. But the rest of the book, I really loved. I really think this is Carly's strongest book that she has put out so far. I feel like she has really stepped up her writing game. I truly felt transported to this lake, and I feel like her writing encapsulated all the vibes that we want out of summer. And then Charlie, oh my god. I love Charlie. I think him and Sam are kind of nose to nose right now, but Charlie might pull through a little bit. I think I just really like his flirtatious and funny banter. And he is that, like, kind of that, like, laid back, I don't want to say frat boy type, but like, just like that, like, oh, you're kind of nervous to like go up to him and talk to him, but he's like so welcoming and so like golden retriever-esque, and he's so thoughtful too. I feel like he has a lot of like acts of service in here as well that I just adored. The chemistry between Charlie and Alice was so undeniable. I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are meant for each other. I need you guys together right now, please. I was rooting for them so hard. And I can actually see this as a new like summer reread, something that I return to every summer. And I was looking on Goodreads. She has a new book coming out next May called One Perfect Storm, I think. Hey, Miss Thing is just pumping out these summer books like nobody's business. So I'm living for it. I hope the next one is just as good as this one. And yeah, 4 stars for One Golden Summer. But that is everything I read for this holding on to summer reading vlog, even though I'm posting it a little bit late and fall is now right around the corner. But hopefully these got you one little last taste of summer for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere. But I have some very fall themed videos planned. I'm so excited for fall. And I'm very happy that I got these off of my physical TBR as well, even though all of these were pretty much like new purchases for the summer, but that's okay. If you liked this video, make sure to drop a like if you did, and comment down below your favorite read of this summer. I would love to know, and subscribe, please. The links to all my social media are linked down below, including my Goodreads and Fable. You can friend request me on Goodreads and I will accept your friend requests, and you can follow me on Fable and I will follow you back on Fable so we can be book besties and I can stalk what you're reading. But that is all from me, and that's all I have for you for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, I hope to see you guys in another video soon. All right, bye!